Welcome to part 38. We are still in the water temple, and in this video I will finish the water temple once and for all. Yeah, there's another gold skulltula up there, and thanks to the long shot I can just nab it from right here. Yeah, pretty much this is the last time we will visit the central tower, because the only thing that's left besides raising the water, well, there are these hook shot targets right here, and the only purpose is to actually get into a better position to reach the gold skulltula if you do not have the long shot at present. But thankfully I do have the long shot and I don't have to go on top, but for the sake of argument I'm just going to show you what to do if you want to reach the gold skulltula and still have the dinky hook shot. I mean, there's really nothing up here, really. Well, technically, well, if you want to get all technical and stuff, that hook shot target can only be reached using the long shot, I believe. So, yeah. Anyway, there's nothing else to do in this central tower. Let's get out of here. Let's finish this game. And now that the water's back to level 2, we're going to access a new part of the temple. Now, what we're going to do here is go to where we first entered, like the south side, while still on the central tower. And there will be a pretty much a door with a, well, pretty much a little alcove with a switch right here. Basically, there's the eye switch, and our goal is to shoot an arrow into said eye switch to open the gate. And then we're going to use our hook, long shot, excuse me, to long shot the target over there before the gate closes. Of course, be careful. There are Tektites in the immediate area. Of course, after dealing with one, I forgot about the other one who's coming towards me at this moment. And, see? Alright, now that one's dead. Let's go and solve this puzzle. Now, the reason we could not do this puzzle earlier is because, well, essentially, I had to get the long shot to reach over here, no problem. Well, and there's no glitching this time because, yeah. And why am I going this way now? Why am I going this way? Well, the reason we're going this way is we are going to finish a puzzle that I started at the very beginning of this dungeon. Yes. Basically, remember that block I had to pull out earlier? Well, now we're going to push it aside so we can reveal the entrance to this room to the right. And inside said room will be another small key. Yay. Alright. Now that that's out of the way, smash the balls for any supplies. In this case, I got hearts. Lucky me. And we will leave this area. Now, because the gate will be closed, the original way I got here will not work. What we have to do here is we will have to actually go back to that area. Well, I'll show you in a minute. Well, bleh. Can't talk. Yeah, I've not been feeling well lately, so yeah. As you saw here, the gate's closed, so we cannot go out that way. Instead, we have to go this way, and beforehand there was water in the area that we could float out. Here we have to use the hook shot target to latch onto. I hate respawning enemies. See, this thing's back. Anyway. What we're going to do now is we are actually going to go and, well, first of all, we are actually going to go and set the water back to level 3. Goody. And, folks, good news. This will be the last time that we will change the water levels because, yeah, after we change them back to level 3, they will stay at level 3 until we finish this temple. Again, that means we have to backtrack to the level 3 switch and raise it again. And I said this in my last video, There should be like one switch at a central location that will allow us to change the water level whenever we please, like the central tower. I mean, why couldn't there be like a water switch that will allow us to switch back and forth between sizes at will, instead to having to backtrack back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But again, hey, it's the way this temple was designed, so deal with it. Alright. But thankfully this is the last time we have to change the water switch in this temple. Yeah, one of the major complaints about this temple. All this backtracking just to change the water levels. Okay, I'm done ranting. Enough ranting. Yeah. Now, I'm going to go to a new location. But what I'm going to do here is I will eventually return to this room. So what I am going to do to save on backtracking is I am going to use Feor's Wind. But here, why do I still have this menu option appearing? Well, it's because back in the Fire Temple I used a warp point to at the Megaton Hammer Room in case I fell downward like I did a number of times. And it was still there. So if I were to initiate the return to Warp Point thing, I probably would have ended up back in the Fire Temple. And that would suck. So yeah, I created a new Warp Point here because, well, again, it'll save me backtracking all the way from where I'm going to go next. And I hate these Tektites. Finally. Alright, where am I going now? Well, actually, we are going to go to the very bottom. And we are going to head northward. Now, be careful in this bottom area. There are spike balls, and you can avoid them easily. Or you can kill them with 2 hook shots. It doesn't really matter. What you want to do here is go this way here and go on down. Now here, as we can see here, there are spikes up there, and we have to somehow get to a position to get over those spikes. Now, what we're trying to do here is there is a hook shot target on the, like, above the entrance to this room right here, above this arch here, and first of all, it would help to know exactly where the hook shot target is so you can reach it no problem. Like, you can either use that, or you can just float on top and climb up and just use the hook shot here to cross the spikes here. Whichever works. Alright, and we are in this room that's filled with water vortexes and boulders that come out of the walls to go into said vortex for some reason or another. And this room is also filled with 6 Tektites that we have to eliminate before we attempt this little puzzle right here. Now, of course, the 2 front ones will come closer and closer until you can actually kill them with your sword. And yeah, it's best to try and like, be careful when you use arrows, because if you like spam the arrows, you can run out actually, and it'll prove this puzzle a little more difficult. So, I mean, it's easier to get the first 2 front ones' attention, and sometimes I believe if you time it just right, the middle 2 can actually get their attention and they can come closer towards you. But sometimes they would just like stay right where they are, and you have to shoot a second arrow to kill them. And of course, there are 2 more Tektites at the door, obviously, and we need to get to said ledge with the door, and those 2 will be trouble if they still are alive. All right, now the goal of this room here is, after we kill the Tektites, is we obviously have to cross this vortex pool with boulders, and there are 2 ways you can do this. You You can try risk swimming across, thereby getting caught in said vortex and trying to move across. And of course, there's a chance you'll get hit by boulders in the process. Or you can do what I'm about to do. What I'm about to do is I'm going to equip my iron boots, and then I'm going to wait until the boulders are across, like the one to the left that comes from the left. I'm going to wait for it to come down and start rolling before I start my journey. And then, of course, with the iron boots, again, you are not affected by the vortexes. You can walk across, and you can actually climb that. There's this little wall in the middle. You can actually climb above and climb down like you would any other wall if you were on solid land. So yeah, this is not as hard as it looks. I mean, it's pretty easy. Again, of course, you want to time it so that when that one boulder over here to the left falls down and starts rolling, you want to jump on down and go. Of course, it's hard to see. Alright. Now, when we get over here to where the boulder from the right comes down, wait a bit until it jumps down and starts rolling away. Unequip the iron boots and quickly swim to the platform before he gets sucked in by the vortex, and that won't be good. And of course, that means we have to start this room over, which means the Tektites would reappear, and we have to kill them all over again. Alright. Now, in this room here, there are stingers in this room. And before we solve the puzzle of this room, we're going to kill them all. Of course, you want to make sure when you jump off this ledge, you aim for the solid ground. And of course, thankfully, since I'm out of the water, you can use your sword or the long shot. Either one will work. Alright. Now you see there at the bottom, there is a switch that we have to step on. But of course, it's one of those pressure switches that cannot, that requires something big and powerful to stay onward, and yeah. So there's actually a big old block in this wall here, and to get to the block, we need to blow up some walls. As you can see here, this one is a fake wall, and you can actually tell because there is slight discoloration on this wall. And there is another wall here, this one with a crack that we need to blow up to, because when we get this block over to the switch, we're going to have to do some pushing and pulling on both ends. Now, yeah, I find it funny that there is both a wall that has a crack, which points out the obvious bombing, and a fake wall in the same area. It's like they're trying to trick you, but it doesn't work. No. Yeah, so you're going to be doing a lot of back and forth, jumping, and yeah. And if you want to see what's in those pots, I'd recommend getting the pots before you attempt this puzzle, because once we get the block onto the switch, the water level will rise, and we won't get access to those pots unless, I guess, you can hookshot them. I don't know, I've never tried, but whatever. Okay, I've got nothing to say because, as you can see, you know what to do. But eventually, when the block touches the switch, the water will raise, allowing us access to the upper area, which means we can go up to the next room. Alright. Now, in the upcoming room here, there is going to be another water sprout puzzle. Like a water column puzzle, as it were. And what we have to do is, well, there are two Tektites at the end, and we either want to kill them or make sure they are not a problem. So I'm just going to shoot an arrow and knock them down to me. Well, knock them down to that pit below. And yeah, there are a couple of water. Well, make it 3 water columns down there, and we have to trigger a switch, and we have to use those water columns in order to cross this room. Now, you would think that you would need all 3 of these water column things. That's a lie. You only need to get to the second water column, and from there you can actually make it to right here. See? Alright. Now, here we are back in the water vortex room. Only now we are in the boulder area. To be specific, the boulder area that comes from the left when you first enter the water vortex pool room. As you can see, there are boulders moving from that waterfall right there to that pool area, and yeah. So again, what we have to do here is we have to get underneath this area right here and time it so that you can reach the boulders no problem. And as you can hear, there is a gold Skulltula right there that we have to reach to, but what I do here is wait for the boulder to pass by, then head on into the water and sink below. There's actually a pit right there that we can sink below, and from this pit I can get the gold Skulltula, and this will be the last gold Skulltula of the water temple. That means we're almost done. Can you feel it? Of course, what I'm going to do here is, yeah, I'm sinking to the bottom right now. I mean, some people will want to stand out there in the open with the boulders coming down and try this, but trust me, this is a lot safer. Anyway, along this pathway, we will see shell blades. Hi. Don't worry, we'll be done with these guys after this one falls, so yay. Anyway, yeah, I'm just confirming that I got every gold Skulltula. So yeah, just switch out to your regular boots and float on upwards. And then we'll use our last small key to get into this room. And there is the boss key chest. Yay! All right, now we can go to the boss room. Oh, and these pots right here, they contain fairies. Yeah, both of them contain fairies. So that's a couple of other instances that you can get some fairies to restore your health or bottle if you have empty bottles. So yeah, this game's pretty generous. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the warp spell to go back to the main room because, well, if I were to backtrack the normal way, I would have to go through the boulder room, like boulder area, and go back through the vortex room because, well, yeah, and the thing is about the vortex room is that the Tektites, the 6 Tektites will reappear, so there's a possibility that I have to face them before crossing the thing back to the ledge, so yeah. So I thought and plus, using the warp point saves time, so yeah. I hate these things. See, they are such an inconvenience. Anyway, I decided to screw it. I'm just going to long shot over to the target right here because the boss room is actually right over there. I'm just close to it. Of course, I can't seem to get a good shot. I mean, it's like the red dot is like just right there, but it turns out it's just a little off, and you end up missing the target and getting that clang sound. All right. What I want to do now is hook shot the target on the dragon thing. Oh, and those 2 pots by the door right here, they contain even more fairies. Both of them. At least this game's merciful about, or at least this temple's merciful about giving you some healing items. Alright. And here we have blade traps up a steep hill that will lead us straight to the boss chamber. So the goal of this thing is we have to go up, of course, the steep hill to reach the boss door while trying to avoid blade traps. Now, it's going to be kind of hard, honestly, because the blade traps don't move that, like you start going up one point and you think you can make it past the two of them, but of course, as soon as the third one nicks you, it will mess up the momentum and you will slide down, and yeah, you have to keep trying over and over again. Like the goal, like what you should do is go to one side, stick to one side, go up as fast as you can, and you should make it. Although it's kind of hard to do it like over and over again, especially if you're new at this. So yeah. Now I don't get why they put such a last obstacle before the boss. I don't get it. It's just another one of the annoying things about the water temple. And thankfully that little injury bumped me up to where I need to be. So yay. Alright. Now we're in the boss room, but where's the boss? And of course Navi explains that the water looks a bit funky. So what we are going to do now is we are actually going to jump on one of these 4 platforms to trigger the boss cutscene. And I am not going to do the Jaws thing because even though the point of view seemed right, I am not going to go dun dun dun. It's cliche. It's been done. Blah. I'm not doing it. And so, what are we fighting exactly? What is stalking Link at this moment? Ooh. Oh, hi there. Well, folks, say hi to the giant aquatic Amobia Morphia. Alright, essentially Morphia is this big old goo of magic water controlled by the nucleus. And the goal here is we're going to have to actually attack the nucleus to do some actual damage. Now, the Morphea's nucleus will create this water tentacle, and what it'll do is, if you are close to said water tentacle, it will try to nab you, and if you get nabbed, it will shake you violently in the air and toss you on one of the sides. The goal here is to try and strike Morphea's nucleus from either inside the tentacle or from the water itself. But the difficulty of getting the nucleus is that it moves back and forth, and of course, like it'll move back up and down through its tentacle, and it moves fast, bouncing in the water. So it's gotta be timing's important. I mean, you can do damage just from the hook shot alone, or just for the just from the sword alone. I mean, make sure you have bigger on sword, folks, because it'll do it for more massive damage. Yeah. Anyway, as Morphia deals more and more damage, it will start conjuring up more water tentacles near your current location, in addition to the one it usually goes back and forth in. And if you're trying to get Morphia in the tentacle it's coming from, you might accidentally get surprised by another second hidden tentacle, and that won't be good. So again, be careful, be mindful, and the best way to get from this guy is to stand at one of the 4 corners, because the tentacles will not hurt you one bit. You will be safe, and yeah. And if you just keep moving, just keep running, you should be fine. Now, folks, here's a little tidbit as I try and defeat this boss. You know how bad this temple is? Well, it's bad when the creators of the game, specifically Shigeru Miyamoto and Eiji Aonuma, the producer and director of this game, actually came out and publicly apologized for this temple. Yeah, the creators have actually apologized for this temple. And if the creators actually pretty much apologize for this temple, then you know you screwed up somewhere. You've known you've done a bad thing. Yeah. And of course, I've mentioned this before, and I'll mention it again. They've actually taken some steps to improve on how, like, make the water temple a bit easier for you because, well, again, in the 3DS version of this game, you can actually use the boots as an item button instead of clothes, and also the and of course the whole water switching is all easily labeled, and last but not least, again, in hard mode, the Master Quest mode, this temple is actually easier. So, I mean, I pretty much got nothing to talk about, folks. I mean, you're seeing me trying to beat on Morphia. Sometimes Morphia will sprout additional water tentacles without my knowledge, and I pretty much get caught off guard. And again, of course, more damage, more water tentacles, and more fun. But don't worry, folks, I do not die. I will not use any of my healing items this time, because this boss isn't too bad. Yeah, it's... Okay. Yeah, folks, I got nothing to say at this point because obviously you just gotta keep moving, just gotta keep on your toes, keep listening for that sound, that whirlpooling swisher sound near you, so that if you hear it, yeah. Alright, eventually Morphia goes down, the nucleus is destroyed, and the magical water is, yeah. Oh, and another thing about this boss, do not go onto one of the 4 columns, because that would be bad, and try not to fall into that magical water, or else you will get hurt until you escape. So yeah, with Morphia dead, it'll dehydrate into this drop here, and we did it. We have pretty much stopped the monster that's causing problem to Lake Hylia and Zora's domain. So goody. Alright, folks, let's go down into the pit, claim our heart piece, and warp to the Chamber of Sages, where I think we all know who the Sage of Water will be, and we're going to have a little talk with her in part 39. And, yeah. And hopefully we'll be free of that marriage engagement. I mean, that's not natural. Alright, folks. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.